As I catch the sight of it, a cold terror creeps up my spine. A pulsing, churning thing is suspended in the air, like space is swallowing itself. Oh, shit. Hi. Hi. Let's play the remainder. Oh, that also fits that little toy, because it's like the remaining... Yeah, whatever. Hello and welcome to Hula Noob Plays Indie Games. Today I'm going to take a look into The Remainder, a dark fantasy story made of mystery, romance, and the unexpected. It's a visual novel, and I got the Steam key by, I think, a marketer who does marketing for the developers, which are Square Weasel Studio, which is an amazing name, honestly. I don't know much about the game. I thought the main illustration looked absolutely gorgeous, and the story is kind of interesting. So I figured I'd take a look. This will not be a full Let's Play. This will be more of a demo first impressions thing. I will take a look into it, read a bit, see how the story goes, and, you know, it will probably not be too long, as I really just first want to explore it. Because visual novels are tiresome if you have to read out loud, and it's the end of a workday. I talked a lot, so I hope that's okay with you. So about this game, you're woken up with no memory of your past by an elegant, enigmatic stranger, aren't they always, called Hula, who tells you that a door to the abyss has opened up and threatens to consume you unless you do exactly as Hula says. Let's start this. Said that in a weird way. Let's start this. How to play. Click anywhere on the screen to progress with the story. Choices you make along the way will determine your fate. If you missed something, you can read it again in the history. Once you discover a letter or a journal entry, you can find it in the gallery. You know, I'm reading this right now, but I will have forgotten this in 5 minutes. So don't be mad if I'm like, where's the menu? Where could I read this? I don't know. Hover over the diamond to reveal a menu item. Okay. The story will include descriptions of violence, death, and suicide, as well as mentions of mind-altering substances and activities. It's recommended for a mature audience, which I'm not. Okay, sorry. Act 1. Oh, am I a bit too silly for this? Everything sounds very dramatic about this game, and I'm not feeling it right now. But I'll get into it. Look at the art style. That's why I was drawn to it. It's so pretty. Okay. Ah, there we go. Okay. There's the diamonds. Okay. Waves crash in the distance. Cicadas chirp. A breeze caresses our hair. The sun warms our skin. All is well. We're sitting on a rug laid on the grass, hands linked together. Oh, we're with two... I thought it was just, you know. Our singing voices float up in unison. My chest vibrates. I can feel the air and our bodies move as one. The space between us hums with power. I close my eyes and smile, savoring the feeling. My dream is coming true, just a little longer. Their singing falters and I peer at them curiously, trying to hide my annoyance. Why did you stop? I'm not doing voices, by the way. Those are super straining and I'm really bad at it. And I always forget them, so... They squeeze my hand with a smile and shake their head. Their skin is cold and clammy. Huh? What has gotten into you? I ask. They gesture at the sky with an outstretched hand. I look up. The sun is ducked behind a cloud. Drops of wetness fall, softly patting the ground. You don't see it yet, do you? I frown, still peering up. What do you mean? When I lower my gaze, they're not there. Pressing my lips together, I stand up and search around me. Oh, this is so pretty. Where did you go? It's pouring now. The cicadas are silent. They're not. I can still hear them. Wind rips at my clothes. I look at my hands. Thick, warm red. Oh no! A sweet scent fills my nostrils. I venture a lick. Metallic, greasy. Oh, did I lick my blood-covered hands just now? Why would I do that? What in Lura's name is happening? Darkness falls. Soon I can barely make out the silhouette of my hands. Of my bloody hands that are just... A sense of urgency grips me. I run to the tower and throw open the door, shouting, "Where are you?" Empty halls stretch before me, echoing my question. This is... I will do this every 5 seconds, but the illustrations are so pretty. In the far end, a figure is walking away in the dark, into the dark. Hey, wait! Shouting, I run after them, feet pounding upon the sticky, wet stones, echoing loudly, squelch, squelch, squelch. I said wait! What was their name again? Why can't I remember? Why are you surprised? What? My, look at you, the voice chuckles. Falling short where it counts again? I ignore it and keep running. Sink the name, I'll know them when I find them. I grab the slippery doorknob and barge into the room. Nothing. Is everything bloody in this? Also, this looks kind of like Amnesia. Another door. I'm looking at it. Sorry, I wanted to see what's in the mirror. Nothing. I run my hands over my hair, fingers digging into my scalp. What the? I recoil when I realize the sticky stuff is smeared all over. I wipe it on my clothes, but it won't come off. Sink this. I curse, clench my teeth, and storm through yet another door. Look at the poor great Magus, all alone in their tall stone prison. Shut up! My voice echoes back as I stand in an empty room. Hot breath rasps in my throat. Why was I running so hard? Why am I so tired? Why was I struggling? My legs tremble and I sink to my knees. Amnesia! The remainder. It's alright. Everything's fine. Whatever it was, it doesn't matter now. Eyelids heavy, comforting numbness envelops me. I close my eyes and crumble to the floor. Just for a moment. Everything's fine. The sea in every direction, endless, a diamond dusting of moonlight across the surface above me. I look down into the depth, a pressure against my chest as the darkness stirs. A star, then two, then a constellation glitters into life. They approach. The darkness was not the bottomless sea, but the body of an enormous fish! Its silhouette filling my entire view. A gaping mouth splits open from horizon to horizon, a deeper black within, approaching, buzzing. Ah! The progenitor hag's through comes for me. I should be afraid. Her mouth, now all-encompassing, blots out the last remainder of feeble illumination around me. I should be afraid. Why am I not? The mouth shuts with a distant clang. A flash of lightning across the eyelid sky. Clang? I'm not reading that. Come on, wake up! Prickling light in the comforting darkness, a rumbling rises and falls in an anti-music rhythm. Calm coolness gives way to crushing heat. A blanket of boulders smothers me. Hey, you alright? Do you hear me? My eyes struggle open to a face. No, go away. Someone grips my shoulders and squeezes. Still a bit out of it, eh? That metallic and greasy buzzing sound crescendos and my mouth tastes of iron. A hand is laid upon my forehead. Well, hello there! I open my eyes again. It's easier this time, but the rest of my body is still heavy as stones. I can't budge a hair. Feverish, but no obvious wounds. You'll be fine, I dare say. Their brows furrow deeper. Stay still and listen to me carefully. Your spell had gone very, very wrong. It's going to kill us, and I haven't got much time to fix it. After a pause, they pat my hand, as if an afterthought. What are you talking about? What spell? I work my stiff tongue. Don't worry about that. Just stay put. I'll deal with it. Well, okay. They turn and stride off. Hey, wait, what's up? A hoarseness burns my throat and I wheeze. I peer around, trying to get a hold of my surroundings. I must be dizzy still. Everything's spinning. Why are the books flying? I squeeze my eyes shut again. This is not happening. I'll wake up soon. Sounds trickle in, rustling, clinking. A storm raging outside, a guttural buzzing. How can I sleep like this? Look at that! The little... Is it masks? It's probably masks. Yeah. Annoyed, I drag myself sluggishly to my feet. An urge to gag rises, rubbing my throbbing temples. Tasting a foulness in my mouth, I force down the bile. What did I do last night? That incessant buzzing! I rub my eyes again to clear them and look for the source of the sound. As I catch the sight of it, a cold terror creeps up my spine. A pulsing, churning thing is suspended in the air, like space is swallowing itself. Waves of moist, brilliant heat spew from it. The transparency, the symmetry, the stench, the singing, breath catching in my throat, I freeze. What in Lura's name is that? Shapes huddle beneath the grotesque thing in the air. As I step around to get a better look, they resolve into figures, midnight silent and still as bones. The white-haired person who woke me earlier stands still. Another person is curled up on the floor, their face a mask of anguish. The emblem of a high magus hangs around their neck. The image of an eel coils around their arm. Why do I know these symbols? Whitehair's hands are raised in a peculiar gesture toward the vortex looming overhead. "Hey!" I whimper. "What are you doing? What is that thing?" It looks like they are frozen in place. "Hello?" I ask again. No movement. I bump into something and look to see a couch. Beside it there's a table on which cups lay about like drunkards. Inkwell quills and crumpled papers are strewn across the table and the stones beneath. A few bottles are still dripping from the mouths. Dark red spots splatter across the floor. Is it just wine, maybe? A crash from somewhere else in the cavernous chamber pierces the silence, jolting me. I duck behind the couch, heart pounding fast. There comes a bang, sound of glass shattering, shouting. A cacophony reverberates painfully from the walls around me. I clutch my ears. Are there people fighting here? Please, let me wake up already. This is not funny anymore. As abruptly as they came, the sounds died down. Is it over? Clamping eyes shut, I try to block out the buzzing, praying, let this be over soon, let this be over soon, let this... How did you get there? I nearly jump at the voice. The white-haired person is back, slumped next to the couch, head lulled, a hand to their shoulder, breath shallow. "What? I just saw you over there." I turn and see the same person still in the spot under the vortex, and my mouth hangs open. What? Are there two of you? I turn back to ask and see something dripping from them. The glistening fluid shimmers and vanishes after it hits the floor. "Are you melting?" I back away a step. "I heard shouting. Is there someone else here?" They try to speak but wince instead, eyes closed, throat bobbing, spitting out something black and then resting their head back. They flash a sly grin and whisper, "Yes, but now it wishes it never said." Violent coughing interrupts them. More fluid drips down and evaporates. I wrinkle my nose. I see. I mean, I don't see. What in the depth is going on here? "What does it look like?" they say. I glance around the room with a scowl, taking care to avoid the floating thing. "Like the end of the world?" Another wince. They lift a finger and point. "What about that? Do you recognize it?" I realize they mean the vortex and avert my eyes. "No, Devana, no, absolutely not." Should I? I can't resist a shudder. They grimace. "Sink me. Not even that? Your handiwork?" "Excuse me?" I scoff. "You heard me. That thing's here because of you. The Abbess Dvara, a door to the last place you'd ever want to be, make no mistake." Their eyes widen with fear and their mouth curls in disgust. Curiosity rising, I push myself upright and study the scene again. "No, I think I would remember doing something like that." The unmoving figures catch my sight. "You still didn't tell me why there are two of you, or who that other person is on the floor." They gesture at the prone figure. "Bit slow on the uptake, aren't we? That's you, the one who caused all this. A great magus, farseer, savior of Darren Square, prodigy of the age, so on and so forth." They're looking directly at me now. "Tell me you remember at least your name." "My name?" I wanted to write Hula of the Noob to make it more, fantasy-esque, but I don't have that much space. The unmoving figures catch my sight. Oh, wait. The words tickle at the inside of my head. Magus Hula Noob. They say weakly, not to slay a dire situation, but it is somewhat amusing to see yourself like this, no? They say weakly. Oh, sorry. Amused? Try skeptical. Even if I believe you that I'm this Hula Noob character, that still doesn't explain who's lying on the floor there. I like that the eyes are moving. That's really good. Oh, it looks so good. Anyways, the stranger shakes their head and chuckles, then tilts their head limply toward an ornate mirror meandering through the air nearby. Easier if you go see yourself. I roll my eyes, step to the mirror, and pull off its velvet cover. I want to see how I look. Ooh, I look good. I look better than I do. If I could choose, yeah, I would totally. Nice tattoo. Is it an? Is this person a fan of Ariel, like the Little Mermaid, because of the eels? Is this me? Why? Well, yes, I like it. What I see leaves me stunned. The figure in the mirror is the spitting image of the person on the floor. I turn to look with wide eyes, then back at the mirror again. Wait, I could have changed the looks? No, I wanted. This is amazing. Every last detail, down to the small pieces of metal embedded in my skin, which I'm only now noticing. It's all identical. Then, just for a breath, the eel on my arm seems to wriggle. But I blink, and it's still again. I feel lightheaded. This is not right. But how? How am I in two places at once? I turn to the figure next to me. Are we dead? Is this the afterlife? And why do you know things when I don't? How is this fair? And just who are you? They laugh soundlessly. This is too rich. You don't remember my name either. I mean, you know what? I'm going across universe. Because that person looks like Desire from the Sandman comics, so let's do this. Another fit of coughing. Not even close. You must have hit your head quite severely. Worried, I run a hand over my scalp. There aren't any holes. I don't remember hitting it, but that's just how it would be if I did hit it, isn't it? My voice trails off. How shall I say this? Eyes closed and lips parted, their voices barely a whisper now. Oh, of course, I could have written Ela. I wonder what that would have been for a dialogue. I get, whatever. The name's Ela, your partner. Don't know what you did. Found you like this. They push out the words with effort. My partner? My partner. This is so good. I lean closer to listen. A ritual must have gone astray and set loose the Abyss Devourer, stripping away your memories. I did what I could. You'd be gone otherwise. They're silent for a long stretch. I nudge them. Are you still with me? They open their eyes again and struggle to lift a hand and point toward the other side of the room, but it flops to the floor. Sink me. They're getting so quiet I have to put my ear next to their mouth to hear them. Warm breath tickles me. Blood rushes in my ears. Your desk. Look in your journal. Find the spell. Circular gate. Black powder mantra. Only way to say no time. Go. Quick. I slump to the floor. Should have read that differently. Sorry. Holding my breath, I wait. Heartbeat like a hammer in my skull. Thump, thump. The buzzing fills the would-be silence in between. Resonance of torment. I drive a thumb into my temple, crushing one pain with another. A futile effort. Hey, are you alive? I reach a hand to their shoulder. My hand passes through them. I pull away in shock and watch open mouth as Ela's body melts into sticky, transparent strands. A few breaths later, they're no more than a shimmering puddle. Tumbling back, I land on my butt and scream. I throw my hands over my mouth and clam tight, hoping that I wasn't loud enough to draw attention, staring at the spot where Ela had been. By the depth, I relax my hands and mutter once my heart slowed down to a less painful pace. Realizing that a few glowing strands still cling to my fingers, I shake them off in a panic. My skin crawls. Devana, what do I do now? Find and cast a spell? Are they mad? I don't even know what a spell is, and what happened to them. Are they dead now? Devas, what do I do? Search the rest of the room. Heart pumping, I spring to my feet. There's no desk nearby. Where could it be? Now that my head is clearing up, I can finally see more than a few paces in front of me. The place is a disaster. It looks like half a library's contents are caught by unseen currents churning around the vortex. Books, parchments, translucent globs, and cryptid skulls swim like fish through the air. Beyond its layer of mess, there are even bookshelves meandering in the periphery. I dodge under floating chairs, vases, paintings, a veritable maze. A lamp bumps into my leg, stretching it into shimmering, transparent strings. Before I can react, it snaps back into place, wobbling. I feel a red-hot needle slowly being pushed through my thigh. I cry out, dropping to my knees, but in a blink the feeling's gone, as if it never was. Noticing that my leg still works, I hurry out of the field of debris, not daring to come near anything. I catch sight of an enormous desk at the far end of the room. Seeing no more obstacles, I ease my panicked breath and walk over to it, fervently hoping that the journal will be there. What a disgrace! Save for a heavy book squarely set in the center, aligned with the edges, everything else, papers, scrolls, measuring tools, writing instruments, all are scattered about carelessly. So I'm a messy bitch. Well, oh, this is a beautiful desk. I want to have this kind of desk. I file a mental note to put it in order when this is all finished. Don't. This looks cozy. Observing the book, I noticed the precisely spaced stitch marks along the spine, evenly placed rivets, meticulously inscribed Hula Noob in the leather. My jittery breath steadies, my head clears somewhat. This must be the journal. If I can find the spell, I can save myself. I flip open the journal. Yeah, also I can save my partner. She's already forgotten. I'm kind of a... Oh. Hello there, you're my journal then. Will you help me make sense of all this? The paper is smooth and firm under my fingers. A thick aroma enters my nose. So familiar. I close my eyes and inhale deeply. Memories tickle the back of my head. When I open my eyes again, the arcane symbols seem to regard me even as I look at them. Like seeing an old friend. Written words, soldiers of the intellect, regiments arraying on a planar battlefield, written in a decisive hand. Mine. Geometric diagrams, sigils, maps of heart and spirit beyond words, ordered beauty. It must take days, perhaps weeks to draw each. But what is time to acts of chaos defiance? A row of strings hang from the bottom of the book, each with an ornamental coin tied at the end. Bookmarks, perhaps. By the depths, it's an encyclopedia. How will I ever find one spell in this? A scratching sound comes from somewhere to my left. I tense up for a moment. Is it some debris, or... I wait. Another scratch, then another. Something sharp against wood. I swallow, heart pounding. Could it be whatever Hula was dealing with? What do I do? The scratching keeps coming in twos and threes from the same distance now, I realize. Do you hear that? Probably not. If they wanted to harm me, I'd be harmed already. Now be brave and look. I carefully turn my head. There's an arched doorway nearby. Dense blackness lies in the hallway beyond it. I squint. An amber glint flashes. Another scratch. I crane my head forward. Is that a... Woohoo! Well, hello there. A shape ever so slowly detaches itself from the darkness of the doorway. Its fur is so black that it looks like a moving shadow. Its features are sharp, merciless. It walks tiptoed, sinewy muscles rippling under the fur, poised to lunge. I stumble back, hand fumbling behind me, searching the desk for a weapon. My fingers grip around something and I look to see a knife. A lidless eye on the base of the blade turns its gaze to me and whispers, "Thirsty, feed me." I yelp and toss the knife. It clacks and falls behind the desk. I turn to see the dark creature inching forward unsteadily, peering around the room, sniffing the air, pausing at every little sound. It's distracted. I might have a chance. I tense up and ready myself. The creature winces and clutches its head, and I bolt for the circle of debris. Caught by surprise, it claws at my arm, misses, tears a shred of fabric away. I hear a strained hiss, then oh, that wasn't a hiss. That was more like a burp. Then rapid footsteps on my heels. I don't dare slow down. Something sharp snatches at my rope, tear it, but without enough catch to stop me. It's closing in. I can't outrun it. What do I do? I hear from right behind me. Stop! Did it just speak? Something large moves in the corner of my eye. Then I hear a crash. I turn to see my pursuer knocked to the ground by a bookshelf-turned projectile. Don't stop! Come to me! Ila's voice booms. I turn and see them moving their arm in an arc, and several thick vases from the drifting flock launch toward the creature. A head-on smash! Myriad splinters fly out. I wince at the imagined pain. But when the pieces have settled, I spot the dark figure some distance back, on all fours, mostly unharmed. How did... Ila takes a few quick steps on to my... Hila takes a few quick steps to my back, muttering something under their breath, and throws their open hand toward the enemy. It leaps back, bounding several meters at once, landing near the doorway. I wait for Hila to press the attack, but they simply step out from behind me and glare at our attacker. What are you waiting for? Finish it! I don't even know who that is. They did not really attack. Maybe they're scared. Maybe they're afraid. Like, I am the one who lost their memory. I should be careful who I attack. It seems Hila doesn't hear me at all. They just stand there. I look toward the dark figure staring at me with pain in its eyes. It opens its mouth to say something, but all that comes out is a sound somewhere between a gurgle and a hiss. It clutches at its head, again with both hands, eyes bulging, straining. Hila chuckles, and with a flick of a wrist launches a cabinet. No! The invader grimaces at me and vanishes into the dark doorway. The cabinet smashes into chunks so loud that it hurts to hear it. The room is quiet again, save for the rain and the pounding in my chest. What happened? I thought you died. You turned into... Still panicked, I fumble the words. Hila's triumphant stance falters and they hunch, clutching at their shoulder. Hold the tears, love. I was only nearly dead, but enough to draw out that creature. I cringe. Don't call me that. Draw out? You were using me as bait? You wooed me. I thought we were being partners. And it worked, didn't it? Do you see the look on its face? Yeah, I'm starting not to trust you. So maybe we're more business partners? I cross my arms and consider it for a breath, then sigh. I suppose. So who or what was that creature? That might have been a Lucazi attracted to vulnerable humans, slippery as eels they are, but we outwitted this one. I'm not sure. Skeptical, I cross my arms. Is that so? Quite. We won't have to worry about it for a while. Why didn't you finish it off when you had the chance? I peer around nervously, throat tight. And these Lucazi, are there more of them? Hila swallows, seemingly uneasy all of a sudden, eyes clamped shut and swaying. Are you alright? Say something. I reach out a hand in case they topple over. Just the one, they mutter. That is weird. That's... Do we know that Lucazi? Is that a polyamorous relationship gone wrong? Oh, good, I think. Not sure what to do with my outstretched hand, I scratch my nose. Breath returning to normal, they straighten up with some effort, massaging their throat. Hila finally shakes their head and says, Not that this isn't delightful, but we should probably get to work, eh? Come now, they say, leading toward the back of the room. My head is bursting with questions now that the danger has passed, but when we get near the darkened doorway, my pulse quickens and I hesitate. With just a few gestures of the hand and some words I don't recognize, Hila slams the door shut and blockades it with loosed stones. Show off, I mutter, staring at Hila. Then I notice them visibly hunch and wonder how much it's costing them to do these things. A thin, silvery thread drifts close to my face. I wave it away, thinking it's spider silk. It sticks to my hand, and I realize there are dozens of these threads growing out of Hila's shoulder. Now that I'm paying attention, their form also seems to flicker. It's insubstantial. Their hand is so feverish it's uncomfortable on my skin. My own hands are flickering the same way. I draw a sharp breath. What is happening? Noticing my growing unease, they face me, waving a hand nonchalantly. Don't worry, it's normal for heart vessels under these conditions. Or did you forget that too? You said I was worried. I'm just curious. What is this heart vessel? And stop reminding me that I forget things. They shrug. Of course you are. They are bodies made from water's energy condensed, somewhat elementary really, as far as magic goes. Confused, I glance toward the statue-like figures, but Hila seems to have read my thoughts. That's a profane vessel. Your anchor to this realm, you know, your flesh also quite... Elementary, right? I answer flatly. Oh. Elementary, right? I answer flatly. So that's why there are two of me. One is physical and the other is sublime, Hila finishes. You're catching on, they smirk, putting a thumb under my chin, eyes aglitter with admiration. Exquisite. They tilt their head from side, examining me. Caught off guard, my cheeks warm up, I scowl. A Took some skill crafting this body for my waters, if I may be so immodest. A shame it falls apart in the currents. Good thing I can remake it as fast. They click their tongue. I wish you knew what a feat it is, but alas. A real shame that I can't grasp the extent of your greatness, your modesty. I sweat their hand away. A puff of hair-fine strands detaches from them, drifting perilously close to my face. I flinch. Humph. They put their hands behind them, turning serious. So you understand why I would appreciate it if you didn't stray too far from your physical body. So as not to have your masterpiece fall apart? I gulp, humor fading. They nod and start walking again, leading me on. Precisely, it'd be a waste of my waters. Not to mention very unpleasant for you. Queasiness comes over me, and I feel itchy all over. I brush away the strands, rubbing my arms, pressing the illusory flesh, but the itch won't go away. I don't know if this will help, but you don't remember what sunkens are, do you? They say after a few steps without turning around. Huh? Bottom dwellers of the seas, heartless, hollow, hungering things that just go on trying to feed for an aeon, but can never satisfy their cravings. Their voice drips with disdain. No, are they lurking here too? I step closer to Hula. They shake their head. Not yet, but if you stray from your body or me for too long, then... They look down, pensive. Memory, reason, even the essence of who you are may be lost, so... Promise me you'll come back right away if you experience anything strange. They pause, then add, don't make me worry. Eyes heavy and head numb, I rub my temples, muttering, stranger than all of this? Hila gives me a flat stare. Oh, you'll know when it happens. Will I? I ask myself. How would I know what I've already forgotten? I look at Hila, wondering just how much they know. How long can you keep this up? I ask hopefully. Better to err on the side of caution. I have my limits, believe it or not. They grin, but it doesn't last. Truth is, not much longer. A dozen incenses, maybe. Seeing the worry come over their face, I gulp. Oh, that's less than half a day. But soon they put a smile on again, like a mask. Look, just be careful and you'll be fine. No need to linger on it. Then it dawns on me. If it's dangerous to be far away, then why can we not just take the book and bring it to our real bodies? It is right there. I motion at the journal wildly. It will make the whole thing so much easier. A shrug. That's the obvious thing to do, yes. Unfortunately, one of your precautions prevents it from leaving your desk. You see, things you worked on are of a somewhat delicate nature, and you made sure that nobody takes off with it. They clear their throat. Only you knew how to undo these safeguards, and since your recollection is limited at the moment, I'm afraid we must work with what we've got. I stare blankly at the floor. Of course, why would I make things easy for myself? Another thing, the Lucasi is still around, no doubt biding its time. Don't let it approach. It lies, it charms, it'll try to trick you. If you see anyone else here, anyone at all, run back to me at once. I think they did something to me, and maybe that dark thing wants to help me. So we can't touch or whatever, because then something will happen that makes me realize that, you know, something was done to me. I clutch my head and sigh. What does it want anyway? To eat me? Hila licks their lips. Yes, and can you blame it? They look me up and down. I stare at them. You serious? I don't want to get into the details at this moment. Suffice it to say, be watchful at all times, and for depth's sake, don't agree to any propositions. Lucasi are powerful to begin with, and nigh impossible to get rid of if you make a deal with them. I rub the bridge of my nose. Let me get this straight. I have to remember all these things to avoid being eaten, but I can lose memories at any time? Ugh, there has to be another way. I grab Hila's arm. What if you stay with me the entire time? What if you never let me out of your sight? Hila shakes their head. As much as I'd like to, I must rest. That means no heart vessel for me and very limited awareness. That means no heart vessel for me and very limited awareness of this place. Oh, Laura, this is not happening. I pace in a panic, heart racing. Insight flashes. Don't you have a spell or something to help me remember? Something hard to forget? That's not a bad idea, Hila messages. Hila massages the back of their neck and gingerly looks around the room. Let me see. They take a few quick steps away, pluck something from the air, and return to me. Gripping my hand and looking it all over, they fixate on a spot on my wrist and jab something into it. Oh, wow! Wincing, I instinctively jerk away, but Ila's grip tightens, holding me still. Look at me and repeat this. Let the image and words burn into your heart. Sensual pleasures wane, but pain I make my anchor. Long as this pain endures, I too shall remain. I grunt, struggling. Say it! The intense look in Ila's eyes leaves no room for arguments. Gesundheit! I try to steady my racing pulse, but they drive the sharp objects deeper into me. It burns. I struggle more. They pull me closer and hiss into my ear. Say it! Gasping for breath, I push the words out through gritted teeth. Abruptly, Ila lets go, satisfied. I stumble back, pulling my arm free. A shard of metal drops onto the floor with a clink, leaving drops of red. Still catching my breath, I shout at Ila. How dare you? What you asked for? You could have warned me. Ila shrugs. I thought it'd be no trouble for a magus of your caliber. I fume silently. Still grinning, they move on. I'll leave you to the journal then. Remember, it's a ritual with a circular gate, some black powder and a mantra. Can you manage that much? I guess, I say, not at all certain. They smile and reach a hand toward me. I look away. Don't touch me. Shh, no fun. They pull their hand back, smile only wavering a little. Once you find the spell, bring me the instructions. I'll tell you how to proceed, and the Abyssdrara will soon cease to be a problem. Simple. I can make out even more of the objects behind them now. Their form is thinning out by the breath. Hurry. With a mischievous grin, Ila gives my wrist a squeeze. The pain of the cut flares up again. You won't forget this, right? I grit my teeth and stay calm. No, not likely, I reply. No, not likely, I reply with as steady a voice as I can manage, refusing to meet their eyes. Their grip tightens for just a moment. I inhale sharply. Excellent. It might just save you, you'll see. As they finish speaking, they let go of me and begin to disintegrate. I take several steps back, staring as they disappear. Their smile is the last to go. I wonder if even that can be done on purpose. Finally alone. This is a lot to take in. I give in to the weight of exhaustion and slump to the floor. I'm so tired. How can I possibly get out of this? What did I do to deserve this? I can't do this. I don't think I can play any longer. So much longer because I'm already like stumbling over words. Why is this happening to me? Pathetic. Why me? You're pathetic. Don't you get it? No one's coming. Only you can help yourself. You'll have to do it. Trust yourself. Yourself. I clamp both ears shut and shake my head over and over. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up! Echo stands in the great chamber. The voice in my head recedes, but not without leaving a last retort. Coward. I will show you who's the coward, I mutter, pulling myself to standing by the desk leg. I will show you, I tell myself. Remember, don't forget, don't let anyone approach. Find the spell. I repeat the words in my head over and over, trying to make them stick. Pages of the book flutter through the air still. Weird. I'm procrastinating, aren't I? Yes, yes you are. Fine, I'll get to work. I regard the book, pondering what to do. Hello, journal. It's me, your master. I'm going to need a miracle. Please tell me you have one. Closing my eyes and desperately hoping, I pinch one of the bookmarks at random and open up to the page it marks. It reads, date, mark cleansing, expulsora ritual records. Held by visiting shamans of the Orients, a potent brew of mapacho leaf was drank by a circle of third-degree magi, myself included, resulting in distress, nausea and pain of the chest. It reached a point where I wished to be dead rather than to adore another moment of that pain. Then suddenly I found myself transported out of the profane realm and into a pentagonal chamber within the seas. A group of diviners seemed to have been expecting me there. They instructed me to take a knife with a single eye on its handle and carve out a portion of my heart that was tainted black. I did as told and was then ejected back into the profane plane, vomiting profusely until a piece of still pulsing flesh came out. The knife had also been magically manifested in my hand. I felt a most pleasant sensation of joy and relief in the chest, followed by a surge of waters. Is that the knife I dropped? I was told to discard the piece of flesh, but chose to keep it for further study. How is it still pulsing? How long will it persist? What can be done with it? I must experiment. VFA. Interesting, but I don't have a clue what it's about. There's no mention of a gate, black powder, or mantra. I thumped the side of the volume. It's at least 1,000 pages. I sigh. Be flexible, look for something else. Judging by the size of the book, it might take me a moon or two to simply read through it. I will have to be smarter if I want to survive. Absent-mindedly, I finger at the cut that's starting to itch, scrutinizing the rest of the desk. If I had conducted a ritual recently, there might be some evidence of that. Freshly jotted notes, or hastily stored ingredients, perhaps. There must be something. Come on, Hula Noob, think like yourself. If I was me, where would I look? Thick coral iron locks are set into each lower drawer. A furtive tug, then a firm pull both nest me nothing but a dull click. Me and my precautions. Undeterred, I decide to try every drawer, more of the same. Click, nothing. You're not beating me this easily. I keep going, thinking if I'm lucky, then one might just be open. With a hiss, the bottom left drawer slides out. My eyes are set aglow, but a heap of crumbled and damp papers of every color. A tomb full of flowers. Head tilting, I scrutinize the collection with parted lips. And just who are you? With a barely audible crinkle, a violet-colored paper spreads partially open, revealing rows of text. Letters? Could it be? Head abuzz with curiosity, I pick it up, unravel it fully, and read. Today we lunch by the riverbank. You have until mid-afternoon to come voluntarily, or else be picked up bodily and carried downstairs by me. Consider this letter your last and only warning. Different handwriting, intriguing. I wonder what else I can find out. I'm telling you this for the 100th time already, I know, but you are amazing. I mentioned how cute they were, but I never imagined you'd actually bring them on home. They must have cost a fortune. When did you even have time to procure them? Our new friend is perfect. What a mixture of aloofness and grumpiness, a mirror image of you practically. Is that the dark thing? I'm thinking about naming them for their 100th birthday. I expect them to become a proper familiar right after. So we'll need something respectable. Mr. Fusspans, perhaps? I and FP. Is it Ela? And who's FP? Ela and Fusspans? I shake my head, puzzled. More and more convinced that these were written to me, I grab another one. You really must rest and relax for a while. The study has become your prison. I don't wish it to become your tomb as well. I trust you didn't recruit me for that kind of undertaking. If the dark thing is my familiar, then why would Ela not want me to? I mean, Ela could just be a shape. And not the real Ela. Was I some kind of weird recluse? I hope not. A deep rumble shakes my body. Ugh. I look toward the Abyss Drara. Its form is lost in the dense debris circling it. Debris? The rumbling settles into a grating hum. It's hard to even think with the noise, but if it gets no worse, I might still get through a few more of these letters and perhaps piece together my past. And if it does get worse, sink it. I'll take the risk. Sink indeed. Aren't you forgetting something? Go away. Can a voice in your head smirk? I think mine just did. Maybe that voice is the real Ela. Or that's what got injected. Reaching for another letter, I'm tense all over, a feeling gnaws at the inside of my head. I suddenly feel like a horse had kicked me in the gut, knocking the wind right out of me. Doubling over, knees buckled, I wheeze. You forgot, didn't you? A pain pulses in my wrist. Oh no, it's happening again. I have to go back. But the letters. No, I will not go empty-handed. Straining, I snatch a few more letters and turn to leave, but a squirming in my palm alerts me. I look and see empty hands. What? I swear I... Look down. Papers are dropping to the floor in slow motion. Looking to my hands, I see sticky, glowing strings hanging from my wrists where hands used to be. The odor of rotten eggs fills my nostrils. Biting heat creeps up my arms. Ela looked like this before they disappeared. No, I plead, trying to gather up the streaks with my stumps, but more and more of me are turning soft and melting like cheese in an oven. That's an unusual image for this kind of story. That's abrupt. As I stare, my skin becomes increasingly translucent. I can see fluids pump through veins with each heartbeat. Horror, fascination, I'm frozen, unable to pull my eyes away. Parts of my skin bulge and tear open, spilling ooze that drift away into the unseen currents. The eel on my arm shudders, wriggles from the confines of my skin and swims away. My mouth hangs open, but a maddening itch creeps across my body and I let out a giggle. It itches everywhere, so itchy I can't stop giggling and shaking. My vision swims, lines and shapes meld. A sting on my wrist, Ila's pain. It sets my heart racing. Wrist? I can still feel it, I can still move. There comes a distant voice. I try to turn toward it. Streaks of color spin around me. No room, no depth, no dimension. Even when I shut my eyes, the afterimage flashes behind closed lids. I was a ghost wandering through an ethereal painscape. I imagine hearing Ila's voice. Closer? Did I shout a reply asking them to guide me? The itch between my ears is so loud. Did they hear me? Are they replying? Is that the eel swimming alongside me? I follow what I think is Ila's voice. My feet are so numb that only rhythmic thuds tell me I'm stepping forward. My eyelids are heavy as boulders crushing together. I count my steps one after another. No time, no distance, just the stepping. I don't know how long I go on like this. Something firm and warm touches my shoulders. I don't know how much time passes until I struggle my eyes open. Blobs of shimmering color swirl and congeal into an impressionist gesture of a room. Hot, bright needles withdraw from my skull. As ecstatic coolness, I sigh, wincing at the agonizing relief, then finally drop the clutched tensions and slump to the floor. Tears fall, but I don't care. Ila's grip eases me down. Welcome back, they say as if I'd gone for a holiday. I can only wheeze. I will end this here. As a first impression of the remainder, this is a slow-going story. So this is not really one of those where in the first 15 minutes, you're like right in the middle. I mean, you're kind of in the middle of it, but I think I read something about 40k words, which is a lot. And I don't know whether 40k is for the first act or for the entire game. If it's for the first act, that is a huge all-in-all visual novel. I think the artwork is fantastic. I think the way it's animated is also quite brilliant. That Ila changes expressions, I think, is a very nice detail. And there's enough movement so things, are more dynamic. I think the writing is pretty good. It's very detailed. So if you like that, if you love fantasy that's very detailed and goes really in, and is, there's pragmatic action and dialogue-oriented writing, and then there's this kind of writing, which is a bit more flowery. So if you like that, I think this will be an amazing visual novel for you. So yeah, this looks really interesting. I also think that the story it's a good story. It's a really good story because it really, it takes a while to get good because we still haven't really done anything. If we think about it, I played this for 45 minutes. We didn't do anything. We just, watched Ila disappear a couple of times. We got followed by something and that was it. But it's already established that, there's an overgoing mystery. We still have a supposed antagonist with the dark thing, but maybe Ila also has some secrets. Maybe we have some secrets. We have no idea. So I think there's enough mystery to keep you going and to, keep you reading. So I think this is a gorgeous visual novel, and I think, especially with the writing and the story and the illustrations, if you like this, then I think it's a nice thing to get into. The one thing I would say is that the choices I have are very far in between. But that's maybe, I don't play that many visual novels, and the ones I play usually are very short. And so you have more choices there because, because of the shortness. If a game is 30 minutes, they usually don't just put in one choice, but more, so you have the feeling that there's a certain sense of gameplay. I think with this one, maybe it picks up steam at a certain point and you have more things, to decide. So far, it's been really not that much, and also it didn't really feel like I could impact a lot. But maybe that's just because maybe I made the wrong choices, you know. I mean, I didn't, you know, try out different choices, so maybe there were some super cool ones that completely threw the story in another direction. But that's just, I think, you know, with a visual novel anyways, like with the choices, I think it's always to give people who are new to the genre, I guess, more to do. Because I think if you're not used to this kind of storytelling in a game, then you very easily are like, oh, there's no gameplay, what is this? But again, it's a visual novel, you know, so you don't need to all the time have to make decisions and click and whatnot. So I think this looks beautiful. I really think the writing is very well done. I think the story sounds really interesting. So I hope that if this is of interest of you, you will take a look at it. I think there's even a demo of the game, so you can take a look yourself. I will put the link for Steam in the liner notes, and then you can see for yourself whether you want this or not. Also, if you like this video, you can like this video. You can also comment on it. Do you know any visual novels that are short and possibly within the horror genre? Because that's where my heart is. Also, you can subscribe to my channel. I usually, actually, just in case you're new here, I don't really do visual novels all that often, but admittedly, I quite often play games where there's a lot of reading, because I play a lot of story-heavy games, mainly in the horror genre, like mystery, adventure horror. That's kind of my niche, I guess. Yeah, and I do prefer indie games. So yeah, if that's what you like, I recently played Mundown, I played Strangeland, and I'm currently knee deep. It's not really an indie game. I'm knee deep in Tell Me Why. So once in a while I will do a bigger game. But usually I play a lot of very short games, or, you know, shortish series like Strangeland and Mundown. Yeah. So if you enjoy this kind of Let's Play material and, you know, content, then subscribe. And I will promise you, I will not turn you into, I don't know, some water stringy manifestation of yourself that kind of, you know, gets destroyed as soon as you are too far away from me, I guess. Because I couldn't. I don't know how to do that. But also, if I could, I wouldn't do that, because it sounds kind of cruel. So yeah, I hope you had a good time, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And maybe see you soon. Bye-bye. This is my self-recorded outro song, so I don't get hit with copyright claims. If you subscribe to a lot of fun tutorials, reviews, and Let's Plays.